Hello, everyone. Caleb's not with us today. Spider on my damn head.
He'll be back, though. He'll be back.
Yeah.
One of these days. He's got a child now, so
Yeah.
a little more responsibility.
Yep.
I wouldn't know nothing about that.
Not planning on knowing anything about that anytime soon.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not for a minute, but
Dude.
it'll happen soon, I'm sure.
So, Tim was supposed to be with us, but we didn't get done doing what we were doing. We went to remodel John's cabin, and, we did
John always fucks shit up. So.
Yeah, that's right. I think this time it was more Tim, though, because we had... So what we did, we took out this... John has his second home.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he had a fireplace insert in the wall, and then, he wanted that taken out, and then the floor redone around it.
Because it just wasn't good enough.
That's right.
Already.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, in his defense, if you take the fireplace out, you got to redo the floor because you got this big hole in the floor or whatever.
Sure.
So we did. It was not that big, space, that big of a space or whatever. But we took that thing out, and then the first night we got there and took it out, and there was just this unbelievable infestation of giant black ants in it.
Oh wow!
So I'm sitting there, and him and John and Tim are trying to get it off, and Tim opens up, and for some reason I don't know why this insert was there, this fireplace insert, jarred it out into the room, and then there was the top of it, and then this wooden trim around it, and then another cap on it. So there was this little, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 inch just compartment in there.
Okay.
That was sealed off. Well, I don't know, man.
The compartment was full of ants.
Oh my god! And Tim cracks that thing up and looks in there, and he goes, and John's on the other side. And he goes, Jason, come take a look at this. And he opens it. I think they're freaking cockroaches because you can't really see. It's real dark, and he did
right.
too. I was like,
I guess ants are better than cockroaches, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Were they biting anyone, or were they just...
No, they were just in there. I mean, but there were tons of them and larvae and all this shit in there. And we opened that up, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "We gotta get a hotel. We can't be here." So then we found out they were just ants or whatever. And anyway, took that thing out, and
was there a contractor involved as far as flooring goes, or not?
No,
you guys were doing it yourself.
Yes, and
Gotcha.
Me and John don't know anything about it, so Tim was the main brains behind this thing. But anyway, so we took that out, and it left this hole in the wall, kind of down to the studs or whatever. Mm-hmm. So we had to put drywall up there, and I don't know any other way to say this other than it was just Tim did a shoddy job on that drywall. It's rough.
Nothing a little sanding won't fix.
Well, that's that's what me and John were saying, but Tim was like, "Nope, screw it, it'll be good enough." And so he threw this drywall up, and he taped it, and I mean, he just barely sanded it, and we painted it.
Okay, so you're already done. You didn't go for a second layer of mud and then some more sanding or anything, huh? Fair enough.
Anyway, but it might have went like that, or it might have been that Tim was trying to sand it, and John was like, "Man, we ain't got enough time. This will be fine."
Yeah.
And then Tim was pissed. He was like, "I don't tell anybody I did this. This is not me."
Man, projects like that always take longer than you think they will, and
yeah.
I mean, especially when you're tearing something out, you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Until you rip it out, and then there's ants.
There was ants. Yeah. Listen, it's a good thing John had this bug spray stuff.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Things would have been dispersed throughout the cabin.
Right.
But,
man,
I don't know.
Well, we'll get Tim back.
Yeah.
He's our star of the podcast.
I think more people would listen if we had him every week.
I think so, too.
But we also need to get Ethan back on here.
We do. We'll get him on.
I want to ask him about how he feels about simultaneously loving Trump and also loving TikTok, because apparently Trump's trying to ban TikTok, or at least will if they don't.
Yeah, so I've heard some stuff about that. I heard a lot of countries banned it already because it's something to do with China. I don't. So is it Chinese company or something?
Yes, and I think the Chinese government holds a big stake in it. And from what I understand, Trump gave them so long to like divest themselves and sell it to like a private place before like banning it here because it collects information and stuff.
Well, I mean, do you think even if they were like, okay, like we'll sell it off, are they? You know, they're. I mean, can we trust that?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so either.
No.
Ban it. Get rid of it.
Yeah, we don't need another stupid social media thing anyway.
And everyone that I see is like, man, you download TikTok yet?
I know.
No,
I'm not gonna.
I haven't, and I won't.
I deactivated Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm going backwards.
Yep.
If I ever get rid of my job, I won't have a smartphone anymore. I don't think.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, man. I just don't. I don't think it's good.
It's not, but I'm addicted at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and that's where I watch them on. You know, so what do I do? I mean,
you got a TV at work?
I got a TV, but like, what I'm going to watch, you know, controversial videos where the public can see them.
What do you mean? Oh,
just like, you know, whatever I'm watching. Like, I mean, obviously, not all of it's offensive to everyone, but some of it could be. And then I've got a fight on my hands when I'm just trying to sell a vape.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't watch anything on that TV just because for that reason. Like, it's even if it's just a normal show or something, like most shows have at least one or two sex scenes in them or cussing or something, right?
Yeah.
And it's weird when I'm at work to be watching.
Yeah, you just because I mean you pause it. I mean, that may have been a sex scene, but they're like, "What? Are you watching porn in here?"
Exactly. You know, so I just use my phone to watch my porn. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would like to say that I could get rid of the smartphone because I'm with you. It's horrible. You know, there's more bad coming from it, I think, than the good.
Yeah.
Or at least what they're doing with it as far as saving everyone's shit that they watch and tracking everybody.
Everything about it. Like,
but the flip side of that is like, oh, get rid of the smartphone and then just watch it on my smart TV. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's the same thing. I just, like, the reason I say about the smartphone is, like, I don't know. I just find myself looking at it too much, I think. Like, even if it's news or something. Like, I don't have any social media on my phone at all. I don't have any social media at all. Like, but, like, I don't know. I'll just get on there and just, like, scroll the news or something like that. And it's just not, it's not helpful for me anyway.
Right.
I don't even really have anywhere to scroll the news anymore.
Yeah.
Because damn Drudge Report pisses me off. And I don't know what else to look at.
I don't either. It's, I mean, yeah, there really isn't anything other than maybe scrolling. I don't know. I do a lot of YouTube stuff, but you can find some independent type journalists that are posting some videos about certain things that are going on. But it's still not a good representation of all of what's happening. There's no good outlet where you can go, okay, well, what's going on in the world today, right? And get a good opinion on anything.
And I know I've said this probably a dozen times on here, but that where I've gotten most of my information now has been Tim Pool.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I like that he says, okay, this is what my bias is. Like, he's like, I'm left-leaning liberal, but he seems to be fairly capitalist and like that kind of thing. But I mean, I just don't know of anybody out there that's more fair about it, like about the news. Like he seems like he tries to get things right.
Yeah.
If he gets something wrong, he'll correct it.
Yeah.
And like he finds them. I think he seems like he goes after Democrats more, but it's just because they're more ridiculous right now. Like, I mean, he criticizes Trump and that stuff too. It's just, I don't know. I trust that at least. I may not have he may not have all the right information, and we may have very different viewpoints on something, but I trust that he's not being dishonest for the time being.
Right. Yeah. He doesn't have an agenda he's trying to push, which if you have that, then it's going to lead to dishonesty.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to lie at some point to continue to push the agenda that you've been told to push. Yeah.
And he switched on some stuff. Like he said he was like, if you'd asked me 6 months ago, I was fine with people having guns, but I was never going to have one.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I just knew that I wasn't going to. And then apparently some dude like came to his house.
I heard about
called the
that.
police,
Yeah.
and then he came back or something.
Yeah.
He was like, he went by guns, and then with all these riots, he's bought more guns,
Yeah.
and like now he's moving his studio out of New Jersey because he doesn't want to be in that state anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And in the new studio, they're putting a gun range in it.
Oh, cool.
Like, so
he's really
yeah.
he's gotten into
People
him.
when they get into guns, that's just
Dude,
what they do.
When you get bit by the gun bug, dude,
Yeah.
it's over with.
Yeah.
You'll start spending money you don't fucking have. Just get another one. They're great. They're so much fun.
I know.
But
Yeah. Anyway, but that's where I get most of my stuff is listening to his podcast, really.
yeah.
And dude, I don't like. What's weird about him is I'm sure he's monetized on YouTube because he does go out of his way to be like, he'll say stuff, but he'll say, I'm saying this in this way so I don't get demonetized.
Right.
So he's there that way, but in his like podcast, he doesn't even. It's not like Joe Rogan or anything. He has no ads.
Really?
Yeah, like it's just. So I don't know how he makes his money other than YouTube monetization.
Yeah.
And he has like a Patreon
Sponsorships,
thing.
maybe?
Yeah.
Patreon and sponsorships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's I haven't watched any of his stuff in a long time. I should. I don't know. I have to get back into him. YouTube's been weird lately. They've been recommending me shit from like 4 years ago.
Why?
I don't know. It's weird. It's like the election's coming up, so they're throwing me all these videos from like the last election.
Yeah.
I was like, I already watched all this. Fuck off. Give me something new. But
I'm kind of looking forward to watching the
debates.
Debates, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just because Biden's going to sound like what I just sounded like.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's going to be hilarious no matter where you fall. I mean, maybe not if you're really a Biden fan.
I don't know if there are any.
Any Biden fans?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I still worry that he'll win. Because, at this point, I'm convinced that they get who they want in there. It's a big, giant, corrupt,
Yeah.
if your vote doesn't count situation. But I don't know. I know, like, a couple years ago, I said, Biden, they're going to put Biden up against him. And Caleb was like, nah, no way. And then now it's here. It's happening.
Yeah, I don't know how that dude won. Like, he just
It doesn't make sense for him to be where he's at. There's no reason for him to be in the primaries like this.
The only thing, like, I mean, he had more name recognition than anybody probably than Bernie. Bernie is a more well-known name than Biden.
Yeah.
Which is kind of stupid because Biden was the vice president for 8 years.
Sure.
But, like, I think his is a more recognizable name. Biden was probably the second.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be the second most popular.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
But he's fucking crazy. Like,
yeah.
it's so easy to see how
That he's losing it. Yeah.
he's losing it. Like, he's senile.
Yeah.
So, I don't...
Man, I don't either. I
know,
just don't know what's going to happen with all of this crap because I don't know. Like, everything is insane right now. From the mask, the coronavirus, all that bull crap. And then just, like, the riots going on. Like,
Are there still rioting?
Oh, yeah. It's just not in the news much. Like, and the only reason I know that they've been rioting in Portland for, like, 55 days or something.
Jesus.
Been trying to burn the federal building down there or whatever. It's insane. The damn mayor walked up with the rioters demanding that they leave.
But he was with them.
Demanding that the feds leave.
Oh. I mean, I don't know, man.
To me, that would be the best thing.
So I'd heard that people in Portland were getting rounded up by unmarked vehicles and didn't know what, organization it was as far as what federal organization was rounding them up. They weren't, telling anyone who they were and weren't telling people what crimes they had committed. I'm against that. If that's the truth,
Yeah.
I'm definitely against that. Like, the government does not get to come, down the road unmarked, not telling anybody who they are, and just rounding people up without telling them what charges. They are being.
Well, so, and this is all from just listening to Tim Pool talk about it. Like, so I haven't done more than seeing it in the news and then listening to him talk about it. And he was saying that, it was an unmarked van, but when the officers got out, they all had police all over them. And they grabbed him, and I don't know the law. I thought when you got arrested, you had to be read your Miranda rights or whatever and told what your charge was.
Yeah.
He said that's only when you're being arrested for, he said the law works, that's only when you're being arrested for, like, if you're suspected of doing something. So, like, if a cop, he said, like, if you're going down, if you're in the middle of the street and a cop sees you throw a brick through a window, he can come arrest you and not tell you what the charge is or anything like that because he witnessed it. Like, it's
Seems unconstitutional.
I don't know.
But I couldn't cite anything in the Constitution, but it seems like it would be.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're always told, like, the Miranda rights, they have to do that. But he said they don't have to do any of that. But I don't know.
It seems like a slippery slope then, like, because you could just go, well, I saw him do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still, everything applies. You just don't have to read them their Miranda rights, is what he was saying. And you don't have to tell them what they will know what they're being charged with. But, like, I don't know. He said the same thing. He goes, I'm against that stuff. That he said, I think it's always dangerous when you're doing unmarked things like that because you don't know. He said the craziest thing is, he goes, they'll do unmarked, like, drug raids.
Yeah.
And he's like, people kick in your door with guns, don't say police, don't have police anywhere. Of course you're going to start shooting at them. Like, you assume that's, and then, you've killed a cop, but it's because they didn't identify themselves. So that's definitely stupid, but I think the news has been making that out to be something that it's not. It's
not. Probably. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm fucking sure.
And I don't like...
But, I mean, dude, I don't know.
I don't like defending the police. The problem with it is, like, I think we've talked about before, like, out here in our immediate area, because it's so rural, and everybody has guns and that kind of stuff, I kind of think the county sheriff's office could leave and not much would change.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah. But I don't think that in Portland.
No.
Because nobody there is prepared to
defend themselves or protect themselves.
They probably aren't even allowed to have a gun in Portland. I don't know what it is, but if it's anything like these Chicago and New York City, just the ability to even get a gun is so hampered.
I don't know. I think my cousins live out there, at least one of them. I think they're gun toters.
Really? Yeah. It may be different there. Like, I know just some of the... I knew they were really crazy liberal, but...
That's the weird thing about the West Coast. You get outside of the cities, get into the rural area. There are rural areas everywhere.
Yeah.
And those people are the same as anybody in any rural area.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the way that it is. I mean, if you live outside of cities, people have the same values.
Yeah.
And they're conservative for the most part. They might, over there, they're probably more libertarian than Republican.
Yeah.
But they have conservative values that they live by.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just the way that it is. I mean, you live a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
That lines up with it.
You're out here because you want to be left alone.
So,
and I don't know what's going to happen, but they're going to push people too freaking far with this eventually. And somebody is going to get shot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's just... I don't think we even understand what it's doing to everybody's psychology. Like, the way that they're thinking. Like, to go from the beginning of the year, like, being, I mean, for the most part, normal.
Oh, yeah.
To now being told you can't go out, you can't see anybody, you can't, like, you need to amend the way you do everything. Did you hear what the I think it's like the BC CDC, like the British CDC said, and the New York CDC said the same thing. Now, I don't know if that's like a state Center of Disease Control or if that's like our country's, but it's not the world one.
Right.
It's like the smaller ones. So here, I had this pulled up. It's probably still, I'll just read this so I get it right. But basically they were putting out these guidelines for things to do to stay safe or whatever. And it was guidelines on what, like, safe practices for sex during the pandemic. Did I tell you about this?
Was it the glory hole?
Yes. Did we talk about this one here before?
I can't remember if we did or not. We haven't done one of these in a few weeks.
Like, so I was talking to, well, I wasn't. John was talking to this person today for our county that's wanting this mask mandate, and like both the alderman and the county executive was like, listen, we're just leaving this up to the experts. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just listening to the stuff coming out about that. And this is what the expert says. So the BC Center of Disease Control recommendations, these are just bullet points for to practice safe sex during the pandemic. So bullet point 1, avoid or limit kissing and saliva exchange. 2, choose sexual positions that limit face-to-face contact. 3, and this is the circled one, use barriers like walls. And then in parentheses, it actually says, e.g., glory holes. Damn it, guys. Like, at what point, when are you going to, they're fucking with you.
They've got to be fucking with you at that point. And when has a glory hole ever been fucking safe?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. And also, like, I'm sorry, but, like, it's always been universal up to this point. Like, I can pick up your drink and drink after you. Yeah, I may get a cold or something like that. But that's not the same as bodily fluid transfer during sex, oral sex, whatever it is. Like, damn it, guys. And I told John, I'm like, those people, because he had the cell phone number, he knew one of the aldermen or whatever, and I said, they're going to wish that I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Because it's more, like, it'll always, and what makes me mad, I was listening to John talk to him, and, like, he hung up, and I go, these people are terrible people. And this is the problem with the way most people are now. There's no reasoned argument. Like, John will say stuff to them, bring up valid points about, like, where this is headed and the fact that it is unconstitutional to make people wear masks and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And their responses back are all emotional based.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like, well, and like this is what the alderman was saying. He was saying something like to John about he was like, well, I thought this was all, I didn't want to believe it. I thought it was all bull crap too, until he was like, I didn't know anybody that had it. And then he had 2 different people that were, he's like 50, that were my age, came down with it, and they were both hospitalized with it or whatever. And he was like, and I realized this thing is real. And he's like, and I've had a heart attack before, and I don't, I'm a higher risk thing. So, I don't mind putting on a mask for you. I'm just asking you put on one for me because I don't want to see you get you sick and get your kids sick. That is bullshit.
Yeah.
That is not an argument. That's nothing. That's you can't think.
Exactly.
So you're trying to manipulate his emotions by talking about his kids, sick friends.
Yep.
Like, it's not.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's here's the thing. Even if it is as bad as people are claiming that it is, I'm not giving up my freedoms for fear.
No.
I'm not living in fear and giving up my freedoms for this false sense of safety. It's not happening. I don't care who's falling dead out in the streets.
Yeah.
It's my decision to live free. Fuck off.
Is it worth it too? Like, I mean, honestly,
of course it's not.
Do you want to live like that to where, like, damn it, like, if I was single and trying to find somebody to, whether I'm trying to find somebody to marry or just screw around with or whatever it is, and everybody's walking around in damn masks, and if Fauci has his way, they'll have goggles on. You won't be able to tell what is in front of you. Everybody's terrified, not only of getting each other sick, they're terrified of saying something that somebody perceives as offensive, and then they won't be able to earn a living. Like, this is turned into a dystopian place in like 2 months.
Yeah.
And it's not going to stop.
No, it won't stop because people are fucking putting on the mask and doing what they're told. Like, use your goddamn head.
I know.
Like, look at what you're giving up for this tiny little bit of safety that isn't even real. There really isn't any scientific facts to back why we should wear a mask.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. It won't help. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Like, if there were some facts behind it, and even I still would sit there and go, well, I don't think the virus is critical as they're claiming it is. But if there was even some evidence to back a mask stopping a virus, I might be like, all right, I'll put it on.
Sure.
It's not real. It's not out there, but I'll put it on because this will actually protect from viruses.
Yeah.
But the fact is that it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't protect you from a virus.
And there's a girl.
So
yeah.
I cannot condone the lack of logic that's being thrown around right now. It's all backwards, and I won't live that way. I won't live in a world where people are telling me to do things that are completely illogical, and then me just go, okay, I'll do it because you're asking me to.
And then
fuck you.
And then you've got people like our county executive, Jeff Huffman, just a mouth breathing moron that has no idea what he's talking about. And when you ask him on something, he just sits there and goes, "Well, I'm gonna trust the experts." You're an idiot, and you should not be in the position you're in if you can't take the time to look something up and have a damn opinion that wasn't fed to you from the fucking news network. Then maybe you should step down and go live your obese little life over in the corner and just be scared of everything. Like,
go do it.
You are not qualified to do anything. Whatever you're an idiot. Like, and the thing is, all these morons that went to college, they think that, oh, I got a college degree, I'm educated. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're more brainwashed than the average person. You couldn't have a thought that wasn't fed to you from that fucking screen if your life depended on it.
Yep.
You probably haven't read a book.
You went to college to get fed fucking thoughts there.
Yeah.
All you've ever done has been fed fucking thoughts through your fucking public school education, then your fucking college education, and now all you do is sit around and watch the fucking TV, and you only do what people tell you to do. Have a goddamn original thought.
Yeah. I love that part of The Office where he's sitting there, they're at those blinds, and Dwight and Michael are sitting there, and Michael says something, Dwight misinterprets it, and he agrees with him, and they realize they're off, and he goes, "You know what, Dwight? Sometimes I think you just agree with me." And he goes, "Would that be so bad?" And Michael goes, "Yes, God, have a thought, have an original thought."
Seriously, though.
Yeah, it just
have one.
So tired of it. And like these people, like, oh, I'm just doing what I think's right. I don't care, because you can't have a reasonable back and forth conversation, and then like at the end of it, the guy just goes, "Well, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree." And John was like, "No, it doesn't work like that, because I don't have an opinion, because you're sending." John didn't word it this way, but you're sending the guys with the guns to force me into your opinion. Mm-hmm. You piece of garbage.
Yep.
And like, I'm not saying that all of them have bad intentions, but if the best you can do is argue based on emotions, you're a very immoral person. It may be out of ignorance, but you're an immoral person.
Yep. Absolutely. You can't. That's not how things work.
No. And you can justify anything that way.
Yep.
That's what I kept telling John.
It makes me feel bad.
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. It makes me feel bad. I'm scared. Somebody might die.
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly the arguments. Like, if you go back and listen to Hitler's speeches, like, the stuff he was trying to, when he was, like, demonizing the Jews or whatever, he was saying, the economy's bad. And they're taking all the job. They're doing this. They're manipulating the economy. So like, guys, how long is it until you start putting people on boxcars and sending them off? It isn't any time. I contend that Jeff Huffman would be fine doing that right now.
Yeah,
because he's an idiot.
Yep,
and I don't know.
Well, he's obviously not a thinker. He's an order follower.
Yeah,
he's following what people are telling him to do. He's not using his brain to weigh any options, and he's supposed to be a leader in our community.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jeff Huffman. Step down.
I know. And I don't know what else to do other than, like, he should be removed from that position, because how can one man tell this entire county that if you are outside of your house, you have to have this on your face? Like, there has to be consequences at some point for that.
Well, the consequences are, come and make me.
Yeah. And it's like a Class A misdemeanor if they catch you not doing it. But I don't even know how they can. I don't know.
It's not a law. How are they putting misdemeanors on it? There's no law.
Well, it's because it's everything from the president down to the local level. We've let these idiots get away with these. Oh, I'll just sign an executive order. We have kings now.
Yeah.
And then you have weak little men like the alderman guy that I was talking about that won't push, they won't check that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, well, I'm going to back off and let him do whatever he wants to do. And it's just...
Then step down.
Yeah. I don't even know why you're there.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, what is your I don't know. It's unbelievable. And like they're going to shut everything down again. They're ruining everything. Like I don't want the society to be burnt down, but like there's some part of me that like I can't wait for some of these people to get what's coming.
Yeah.
Because they're so stupid they can't look 2 weeks into the future and say, if I do this, what's likely to happen?
Right.
And like it's like all the sports now, man. It's like everything. They started back like the NBA or whatever in that bubble thing. Have you seen any of that?
No.
We were in a restaurant and they had it on. It's in an empty gym. They have like, I don't know if they're just kind of holograms or I don't know if people are paying to have their face up there, but it's like these screens in the stands with people's faces on them.
What?
Yeah, like fans or whatever, supposedly. I don't know if people are paying to like have their face on that thing. I don't know. But it's so stupid. Black Lives Matter all over everything. Like they have stupid, like we were talking about this the other day, these things on the back of their jersey, messages or whatever. And you're just like, guys, I really don't want to sit here and listen to a bunch of millionaires like
preach to me.
Yeah, you watched that Jordan documentary, right?
Inequality.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I know.
I did watch it, yeah.
Didn't he, like, there was one point where I don't remember exactly how he put it, if he said we were kings or gods or whatever. He was like, we were worshipped.
Yeah.
We went everywhere and people, that still happens.
It still happens, yeah.
So I just don't, I'm not interested
if it happened fucking 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's definitely still happening
now. I know.
Like,
and you guys are out there, we were oppressed. And freaking one of them that I was watching had this thing, it just said, respect us on the back. Dude, what the hell? Respect you. People are wearing your name on their back.
Yeah, and like, they paid a ton to do it.
What do you mean respect? What do you think respect looks like?
Yeah. What more do you want?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, dude. Let it all fucking fall.
I know. I really hope that. I hope that it all crumbles. Like, because I think the more people see this crap, the more it just falls apart. You know what else is weird that I don't understand how it switched so fast is like last year when people would kneel for the anthem, there was only like a few of them and they were having to like defend themselves as why they did it. And now I saw an article like one of the coaches didn't kneel.
Yeah.
And they were all like, here's why this might be okay. What the hell? It's been 12 months. Yeah. Like how?
What the fuck happened in the last 12 months?
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's the walls are closing in.
Yeah.
And
it's literally what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, every time, I think I might be able to breathe again for a second. It's like you wake up the next day.
Yeah.
And then there's another fucking just completely ridiculous thing that they're trying to force me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
No, it's ridiculous.
So I don't know. It's just at what point do they take so much though where it's like it's affecting where I work, it's affecting, how I pay my bills.
Oh, I know.
That's
yeah. And that's the thing, like I'm against government, but like I'm almost to the point where I'm like I want to get involved in local political stuff because it's the only way to stave it off.
Yeah.
Other than starting shooting, which I don't think that's good unless you've exhausted the other possibilities of it. Because I honestly, I could be wrong, but I think most people in our county don't want this mask shit. Just based on people I've talked to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like if people come in, because we don't, where we work, we don't enforce any of that. And so like sometimes people come in masks, but when they see none of us have it on and we're acting like nothing happened, most of them take it off. People shake your hand. They don't give a damn about it.
No. I mean, yeah, I encounter people pretty regularly, and a lot of them will have a mask on, and I'll be like, hey man, you don't have to wear that in here if you don't want to. You know, it's up to you. You can wear it if you like or not, you know.
Yeah.
And 90% of the time people go, thank God, and they pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they're fed up, but they still don't have the balls enough to not... They still walk in with it.
Oh, I know.
Fucking grow a pair and walk in without it and let me tell you need to put it on.
Yeah.
Instead of just submitting first and hoping that someone tells you can take it off.
Yeah. And what's funny is, like, they don't even have it on the freaking... Y'all don't have it on the windows. I don't have it on
a door, nothing.
No.
Right? Nothing.
Yeah.
Why are you putting it on?
Yeah.
It's just already... It's put into their brain already. Like, every time we leave the house, we put it on. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
You live your life like that? And I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to people, and I'm not when I talk to them, you know, but it's like, damn it. Dude, it's so discouraging because you have no fight in you.
Mm-hmm. There's a girl, like a new girl that works with us. She has said her mom is a doctor at, like, I think it's at St. Francis, the Methodist place or whatever. And she said, like, it's insane. Like, her mom's ready to kill somebody over this stuff because she was like, she goes, I personally know 6 people that have gotten positive results in the mail that never took a test. Mm-hmm. She was like, I can name their full names right now. I know who they are. I know them.
Yeah.
6 of them that have gotten
It's insane.
That. Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, I told you about my mom's friend who went to one of the drive-through ones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it was a long line, so she filled out her paperwork first. They came to the car, gave her paperwork. She filled it out, but it was a long line, so she sat there for like an hour. Still a long line. Decides, never mind, I'm going to leave. Leaves, gets a call 3 days later. You're positive for COVID-19. Never took a test.
Yeah.
Never took a test. Just filled out her paperwork, gave them their name and all the other junk. Mm-hmm. And got a phone call, and she's positive for it. This is a fucking scam. Jesus Christ. Look around.
Yeah.
No one's dying in the streets.
No. Well, that's what we were talking about. So, like, where John's cabin is, like, man, you go there, besides, like, Walmart, and that's even, like, 20 minutes from where his cabin is, but besides Walmart, because it's a corporate thing, it's not on anything. Like, everybody's acting just like everything's normal.
Yeah.
People are out on the freaking lake. They tie up 20 boats together. Everybody's down there just all over each other. You go to the Mexican restaurant, they'll sit 25 people at a table, just stacked on top of each other. Everything. So my question is, if this is real, how come Counts, Tennessee isn't decimated?
Yeah. Why are they not all dead?
Yeah, why are they not all just in the streets dying?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's not real.
It's not.
If it was, whatever, if the thing is actually a thing, but it's not, it isn't.
It's not what they're claiming it is.
No.
It may be a real virus.
Yeah.
But who could fucking know? Because they're not being honest about anything about it, right?
No.
And so for me, because you've lied so much about who's positive for it, who's died from it, all this shit, like, as far as I'm concerned, it's not real at all.
Yeah.
Because you've not been honest about any of it. So fuck you.
And you know what's crazy about it too? Like, if you have a baby right now, apparently, they were saying that, like, if a woman has a baby, this was the same girl telling me this. She goes, if the mom comes in, they deliver the baby, they test them both for COVID, right? If the mom tests and has COVID and it gets a positive result, they take that baby, they quarantine her for 14 days, the mom, they take that baby, put it in the nursery for 14 days, nobody's allowed to be around, touch the baby except for hospital staff. Fuck that.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Like that, it's unbelievable what people are letting them do. They said that, she was like, her mom, they've told her, she was like, I'll walk out of this place because they've told her she's not allowed to see anybody with any kind of respiratory symptoms right now. And she's like, guys, the flu season's coming up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not allowed to see people in the flu. You're going to make more people die of the flu because you're so scared of this thing that's not as bad as the flu.
Yeah.
And like, and that's what her mom was saying. She was like, listen, she was like, you come in contact with hundreds or thousands of bacteria every day. Your body fights them off. And she's like, the more people social distance, put a mask on their face,
it's
don't do this
stuff. It's going to get worse
stuff.
and worse.
Yeah.
Man.
He's
that is not how you become immune to things.
No.
It never has been. You can look up the science for immunity. It's been the same exposure.
Yeah.
Go expose yourself to things in small doses, and that's how you become immune to them. What we're doing is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You know, we're gearing up to get sicker than we've ever been during any flu season or any type of bacteria.
Yeah.
You know, and
and it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, and it's by design. Like, if you don't fucking see that at this point, like, you're a lunatic.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing this shit on purpose. They want you to be sick. They want this to get worse. They want it to be bad. And
yeah, because the people in control are incentivized to do this. Because never have politicians had a bigger stage. Never have government workers and these stupid ass doctors that act like they know what they're talking about stand up here and I have people, oh, look at this guy, you know, it's important what they have to say. They're not missing paychecks. Nothing is changing. The fucking Tipton County health order says you don't have to have a mask on if you're in a government building. Fuck you, Jeff Huffman.
you.
And it's funny, you know, they exempted a couple. They have multiple exemptions, but they exempted it being in a polling place or waiting in line. Why? Because you think people may be standing there looking around, going, "Hey, this is bullshit.
Yep.
Maybe I'm going to go in here and pull it for the other guy instead of this moron."
Yep.
Like, and then the other place they did was churches because there's so many of those out here. They know they can't mess with that.
Yep. Yep. It's insane. I mean, they can't mess with any of it if we all just don't put the goddamn mask on.
Yeah, yeah. These stupid politicians, they don't have...
They have no authority. Yeah. They only have authority if we obey them. So just stop obeying them. Jesus, where is your fucking rebel bone? Where, like, my God.
I gotta make sure that thing's still going.
I don't know. I've always had authority issues. Always, my entire life. Don't tell me what the fuck to do. And if you do, you better give me a good fucking reason why you're asking me to do it. It's gotta be fucking sound. And if it is, I'm a reasonable man. I'll weigh it, and I might do it.
Yeah.
But no, you don't just get to say, do this to me without coming to me with some great evidence why I should do it.
But that's the thing. They're like, well, we've been on the calls, and we've seen the data. You mean the people telling you use the glory hole?
Yeah.
You idiot. Jeff, I want to come over to your house, and I want to see a damn hole in the wall.
Yep, because if there isn't...
Yeah. You're not listening to that part.
You're not listening to that part?
Yeah.
Are you fucking your wife, Jeff? Because if you are, not through a fucking hole in your goddamn wall, fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask.
I hate them. I hate them.
It's just getting out of control, man. It's getting out of control, and I don't... Like you said, I mean... I don't want the guns to come out yet, but they're pushing it.
Yeah.
You know, they're pushing it, and
yeah,
I just don't...
Because you can't tell everybody. I can't go to freaking Walmart. Like, listen, here's the thing. I've been social distancing my entire life. I don't want anybody within 6 feet of me most of the time. Unless my wife, my kid, like, that's about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anybody. I'm never close enough to anybody else to be able to touch them, usually. Yeah. Except in certain weird situations. Like, but that kind of crap, like, I can't walk through Walmart and get my stuff.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, so far I've not worn a mask. I've gone into places that had signs and no one said a fucking word to me.
Really? I've been stopped in multiple places. Kroger, Walmart.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, I haven't tried in Millington. I haven't tried the Kroger in Millington or the Walmart in Millington.
Yeah.
But
I got stopped at the Kroger in Atoka.
Really?
Yeah.
I went in there today. Walk my.
They didn't have somebody sitting in the door by the sign.
No, there was an employee right inside where the carts were at. And then I walked in and she looked at us and she turned around and walked off and grabbed a cart and went on in. There's a cop sitting outside too. I'm just not doing it. Like,
well, and my thing with these stupid, like, there's always a cop at the Walmart in Millington. Mm-hmm. Guys, why?
Yeah.
Why does Walmart get that? If they want to do this stupid bullshit, then they need to get their own people to enforce it.
Yeah.
The taxpayer shouldn't have to pay for this guy to stand out there and to haul people off because they're not following the Walmart rules.
Right. Well, we're already paying.
Yeah.
For the fact that they don't pay their employees very much. What was it that I sent you? Something like $6.2 billion a year.
This is what I don't understand. Is it just because they're not? Are they saying that because they're taking an aggregate of all the subsidies that their employees are consuming?
From what I understand about it, basically they don't pay a livable wage, and so the majority of Walmart workers are on some sort of government assistance, and that comes out of the taxpayer's pocket.
But I don't know that that's Walmart's fault. Like, Walmart shouldn't be a livable wage job.
Maybe not. But they could even just raise the prices of the food by a penny and get the fuck out of my pocket. You know what I mean? Like,
well, maybe, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's as much Walmart's fault because they're not the ones saying give these people subsidies. They're just not paying. And honestly, the problem with it is, like, the average Walmart worker is not worth more than that. Like, you watch them walk around and they're, whatever they're doing, they're not motivated. They're not like a Chick-fil-A worker.
Sure, but is it because they're making shit money? Why are Chick-fil-A workers motivated? Because they're making good money. But, like, what motivates people?
I understand.
Incentives. And if there is no incentive to work hard, then I will not work hard.
But why couldn't the Walmart worker walk from Walmart? If they have that gear to do that and that desire, why can't they walk over to Chick-fil-A and get a job? Chick-fil-A's hiring all the time.
Well, someone has to work at Walmart and someone has to work at Chick-fil-A. You can't just say everybody that Walmart could run over to Chick-fil-A. There's not enough position.
Well, I know practically, but I'm saying, like, for the individual, like, when you look around,
sure.
But when you look around, I think that it's just the market played itself out. Like, I think it's that the people that want a job where they can show up and not have to open their eyes are the ones that end up at Walmart. Like, because
right, but wouldn't you say that people that want to work hard, if they offered a little more money, would go and apply at Walmart for the position?
Yeah, but I think that they. Say that again?
So if I'm someone who's like, oh, they don't pay enough for me to go over there and give a shit, but if they started. Right.
Yes. I completely agree with that. It's stupid.
It works for Chick-fil-A for a reason.
Yeah, but that's just poor management. Like, what they should do, and what would be better for everybody involved, is have half as many Walmart employees, but have people that work. Because you see all these people just shuffling their feet. You're like, get rid of that guy. What are you losing?
Right.
Yeah.
So I've always been an advocate for why are there part-time jobs at all? You know what I'm saying? Really, there shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You either can work or you can't. Either go to school or don't. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, there's maybe some positions in certain areas, but, like, Walmart shouldn't be one.
No.
You know? Like, fire half of them and give the other half fucking full time and pay them well. You know.
Well, that's part of it. Like, these positions, like, I get part-time stuff for, like, an old retired person. They don't want to work 40 hours, but they want something to do, or like a kid that's in high school or whatever, working for gas money. I got that, but that's the whole thing when they say they don't give them a livable wage. That's not a fucking livable wage job. That should be filled with those. But
even your managers there that do work 40 make like 12 an hour.
Not the actual managers. You're talking about, like. So
there's a lot of different managers.
Yes, it's this way. Yeah. It's this way everywhere. Like, when I was at Domino's, like, I worked at the one in Arlington for, I don't know, I was there for like 5 or 6 months. But by the time I've been there a month, like, the actual store manager came to me and was like, hey, I want you to be an assistant manager. Would you be interested in that position? Well, I delivered pizza or whatever. And so my job, I get to go take the pizza. People leave me alone. I make tips plus minimum wage, plus a delivery fee. So he wanted to give me $1 an hour raise to be an assistant manager at this place. So I'd have taken a pay cut, gotten a little bit of authority and responsibility. I was like, no,
fuck you.
Like, I have no interest in that.
Right.
Like, so that's.
Did you make minimum wage even when you were driving?
Oh yeah, you make minimum wage.
I don't think they do that now.
Yeah, they do.
I think you make minimum wage when you're at the store, if you're washing dishes or folding boxes. But
really?
When you go out and you're driving, you make like $4 an hour.
Really?
Pretty sure.
That was what it was. And I don't even know if it was minimum wage. I think it was like a little bit above that, and then you got $1 for every run you took, and then whatever tips you got.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's what I was like.
I know a couple people who work there, and from what he told me, one specific guy, he was like, no, we make minimum wage when we're in the store.
That's crazy.
When we go out on drives, they cut us to a lower wage because we're making tips.
I had no idea that.
And so we're only making minimum wage when I'm in the store folding boxes or washing dishes.
It's been years since I've obviously worked at that place or been at a place that could get pizza delivered to them. So I don't like. I know they charge they'll charge that delivery fee that goes to the driver. I think Domino's was $1. Like Pizza Hut was like $3 a few years ago. But then I wonder if they have like a, what do they call it? The gratuity, where it's like a mandatory tip. I wonder if they.
I don't think so.
Get that? I don't know. That's crazy. Well, yeah, that may be different. But anyway,
I've also heard like some of the people that work in like a Toca or a Millington are like, fuck Covington. I do not want to work there. You know what I mean? Because they just get less tips out there.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
yeah.
so when you go from making minimum wage, being in the store, to going and driving, and then you make less, and then you show up and you get nothing.
Yeah.
You know, you're
you're
losing money on gas.
Yeah, and that's so much worse than it not tipping a waitress, because they've spent gas to take that to you.
Yeah,
and put
insane.
wear and tear on the car and all that stuff. But like,
I don't know. My question is this: would it be cheaper for the taxpayer to pay a little more for the food that they buy than to pay into the welfare state?
Yeah, but I just don't think that's Walmart's fault.
Maybe not, but wouldn't it be all corporations' fault? Because now they're going, we're not going to pay our guys because we're greedy.
Yeah.
Right? And so therefore the government's going to pick up the end that we're not picking up by not paying them. But the government only makes money through their tax cattle, which is us.
But I think that the problem.
And so what's cheaper? Because
for sure it would be, and
so I'll pay an extra penny for a fucking macaroni and cheese at Walmart. Instead of 69 cents, it goes to 70 cents. So that those people can get a livable wage, so that I don't have to pay 3 pennies towards. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but the problem is Walmart's only taking advantage of the system that was already there. Like if there wasn't that, then people wouldn't be able to afford to work there, and then Walmart would have to. The market would the market gets fucked with by the government when they come in and say no, we're going to take care of you.
Right.
And
so just abolish the welfare state, which would make corporations
for sure
pay their employees enough to live.
Yeah. Oh, and figure out a way to make it work. Like, because I mean, honestly, like where I work, like there may be a couple of positions that are like that. Like I think they have a couple of older ladies that are like receptionists or something that are just doing it for whatever. But like everybody else, like you may not be able to support a family on some of the positions, but you could support yourself, because there's not anybody making less than like 30 or whatever. So if you had kids and your spouse didn't work, you know, there are some positions to make that. But my company's had to figure it out. Like they don't have this cheap labor.
Right.
Like that, and if they would just make everybody do that by taking that crap away,
take it away. It doesn't make sense for the state to take care of people.
No,
it doesn't make sense. It never has. It never will. It get rid of it. Get rid of it.
That's because most
of those people have jobs, even though they're, on welfare. They still have a job. Most of them.
And it takes any kind of incentive away from the person. It's easy to fall into that where it's like, okay, I'll go here. I won't try, Yeah. I'll just sleep. I'll look at my phone all day as I pretend to stock stuff.
I'll work 25 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I'll get food stamps.
Yeah. And that to me is what the incentive, because and I think that it just naturally works itself out, because the people that want to take that system, and that's what I was saying about individually. Yes, I understand everybody from Walmart can't go over to Chick-fil-A, but Chick-fil-A is always hiring and Walmart's always full. So if there's all these people that are motivated to do that, why isn't Chick-fil-A always full up and Walmart looking for people?
Yeah.
But
I mean I understand that, but if there was, I guess like you said though, it's the government's fault.
Yeah.
They take that away, then you can't be that way. You can't be like, well, I'm just going to fucking look at my phone for 20 hours a week and collect another check from the government.
Yeah, I mean, and you see it now.
Like, there is no check from the government.
Oh yeah, I agree. And it's funny, like the whole I don't know, argument for the universal basic income. Like you just give them money and then they'll have time to pursue what they want.
Fuck that, Joe Rogan.
I don't think people will do it. I don't think that's in them.
It's not. Especially when you give them shit.
Yeah.
That doesn't provide any inspiration. You have to have nothing to need to be able to do something. Yeah. Like, you have to sit there and go, no one's going to help me.
I got to do it.
I got to do it.
Yeah. For sure.
If you don't have that, you won't fucking do it. Some people might, but the majority will not.
Yeah.
Some people might, would be like, all right,
they were going to do something anyway.
That's a nice little... Exactly. They would have done it whether it was there or not.
Yeah.
So...
I just don't think that that's how that's going to work out.
Man.
Because it isn't now. Like, the people that are laid off, getting unemployment, plus the bump from the government, what are they doing? I think they're sitting at home watching Netflix. Yeah. I don't think that they're out there, like, learning a craft or whatever, following their passion or whatever. They're just sitting there.
Exactly. Well, there's too many sparkly things dangling in front of them. It's...
Sometimes I wonder if that's part of our society's problem. It's too easy right now. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I know everybody wants to act like they're the victim all the time and all this stuff, but honestly, like, who in America is going hungry? Like, I'm sure there are some kids with some real shitty parents, right?
Right, but that's the parents' fault why they're going hungry, not because they couldn't fix it. I was listening to Thomas Sowell talk about poverty, and he was talking about how America and poverty is not poverty.
No.
He's like, they have flat screens.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not poverty.
No.
That's not the rest of the world's view of what poverty is.
No.
And so it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's like, if you talk to people under the poverty line, the things that they want are not the basic things that they need, but they want designer clothes.
Yeah.
Flat screen TVs.
Yeah.
And they have them.
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't?
But they live under the poverty.
When's the last time you saw somebody without a smartphone?
Sure. It doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah.
So that's not poverty.
No.
That you have shelter. At this point, you have government assistance.
Yeah.
You have flat screen TVs. You have Netflix subscriptions. That's not just because you got no money in the bank. I got no fucking money in the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what would be just a damn great social experiment, and like would make it for a great show if anybody would televise it, is to take somebody with like the mindset like Daniel St. Clair and have him voluntarily do this, and for like, I guess like get to a point where he looked and kind of smelled homeless for like a week. Like, you don't shower, you don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Then you are homeless.
Right.
Like in a city. And you just go out there, you don't have access, you don't have anything but what's on you.
Go get a job.
And see how long it takes St. Clair to get from that position to actually having a nice, decent place to live and have some upward mobility. I bet it would be crazy how quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Dude,
because you are going to have
a job on day one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to ask somebody for help. Probably
like some sort of help, but it would be he'd pay it back within a week. Probably.
Oh yeah, like, and maybe not. I mean, maybe you look, you go
maybe
around.
It would take longer than that, but I don't believe that he would not be able to bring himself out of it.
No,
I don't believe that.
No,
I believe that he would be able to pull himself out within a short amount of time.
And I get some homeless people, a lot of them have mental issues and different stuff like that. So that's a different thing. But to say that there's no opportunity, you know, to do that is ridiculous. Because, I mean, you're just going to have to go to some place, some business that isn't going to put your paperwork in, you know, or whatever. And they just need somebody to do some kind of grunt work or something.
Yep.
You know, it's just...
It might be harder in a city than it would be kind of on the outskirts, because you could find a manual labor job that'll pay you under the table at first, you know. In the city, just going into a restaurant smelling bad or something, trying to get a waiting job.
Maybe, but I mean, you go to a Mexican restaurant, or like even just any restaurant, you go work in the kitchen, wash dishes, do something like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, like the first thing to do, I mean, I didn't realize a lot of like truck stop gas stations, and then also
take a shower.
Yeah, you can or buy a gym membership.
Yeah,
you can go take. I mean, that's renting a shower for $10 a month.
Yep.
You know,
and a lot of them will let you have the first month free.
Yeah,
So you can at least fucking get a shower for the first month while you're looking for a job.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't see how St. Clair wouldn't figure that out in
Yeah.
a matter of a month. He'd have a job and probably a place to live.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And if you really want to extend it out, do it for a year and
Sure.
see where that person could get themselves to. And I bet it would be, but
Film it like Survivor Man used to do, like
Yeah.
film himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
just talking to the camera or whatever.
the camera, film walking up to places. you
Yeah.
know, film if they'll let you film when you go in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Discreetly. You wouldn't want to be like, I'm filming a documentary
No.
about being homeless. That
Of
would
course we'll-
destroy it. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that. I just don't. I'm with you. I don't see how he wouldn't figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It just takes motivation. Like you have to want to get out of the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
And
Well, and that's, I think, what most people don't like. You can blame the system, you can blame other people, you can blame whatever you want to, but the problem is you aren't taking the motivation to do it because you don't want it bad enough. You're fine with where you are.
Yep.
Like, and that's, you know, I mean, everybody's like that to an extent.
Sure.
I mean, I think everybody knows something that they need to change about
Absolutely,
themselves.
man. Absolutely.
Like,
I'm guilty of that myself.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm with you. I think most people are.
Yeah.
You get to a point where you are comfortable.
yeah,
And then, you know, but the problem is that are you comfortable with taking from other people? Because that's what you're doing.
sure.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it's a more moral thing.
That is immoral.
Yeah.
You know, if
Because,
if you're letting other people pay your bills, you're letting other people support you. you
Yeah.
know,
Well,
that's immoral to a certain point. You know, it's not wrong to let people help you sometimes if you're trying to dig yourself out of that hole yourself. But if you're not, then you're being immoral by allowing them to help you because you're just, I'm gonna sit down here in this hole.
yeah.
You keep accepting the scraps get thrown in.
Yeah, and
that's wrong.
And it's terrible. Like, I don't know. I mean, you can blame it on other people, but that's a different level of it. Like, because I was saying, we all have things like that. Like, I mean, like for me, it would be dumb for me to say, man, I'm overweight just because like there's just too much fast food. I'm too busy or whatever the fuck it is. Like, if I really cared enough about it, I'd stop eating so much, stop drinking, and fix it. Like, but just to blame it on other people, you're never going to get any better because of that.
No, it boils down to personal responsibility with everything in life.
Yeah.
You know, and no one takes personal responsibility for where they are.
No, not hardly anybody. Like,
some people do. Some people are okay with where they're at, you know, but for the most part, the majority of people want to blame someone else for whatever problems that they have. And it's like, damn it.
Yeah. That's a terrible.
Our society is going to fall.
There's not anything more cancerous
No.
than a victim mindset.
Yep.
Saying I'm not
responsible for my state.
Yeah.
And that is where we're at as America.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking sad.
Yeah. It's that freaking thing behind you.
Yeah.
Like that freaking Rocky from, I think it was in Rocky Balboa. The last paragraph of this thing says, now if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. Like,
you're better than that.
you're better than that. It's a damn good speech old Rocky gives his son.
It is, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Own up to where you're at.
But
if you don't like where you're at, or if you're taking advantage of others to be where you're at, then change it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, you're being an immoral person by you're stealing from other people.
Yeah.
Because the government is stealing from me and you, and it's being given to you.
Yeah. And it's funny.
It's wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong, and it's funny because it seems also calculated to me. Like, because we're talking about that, like, that's a theme throughout the Rocky movies. Like, he wants it more. He's willing to do the work. He's not the most talented one, but he's going to, work through it. And it's funny, there was a lot, like, I don't know when it happened, but, like, the newer stuff you see is not like the older stuff.
No.
Like, they don't have movies like that and Braveheart and that kind of stuff anymore.
It's not about working hard, getting through shit.
No.
To come out better on the other side. It's not about sacrificing things for tomorrow so that tomorrow is a better day.
Yeah.
It's Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, but the stuff that comes out now, like, I mean, it's not that, like, if you're just talking about media and stuff that you watch, it's not that it's not good and entertaining. There's just there's nothing good there.
There's no real virtue in anything that's being put into our heads now.
Yeah. Did you start watching Yellowstone?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I haven't yet.
Phenomenal show. But, like, it's like, or so far, I've watched the first season, like, a couple episodes of the second one.
Yeah.
But, like, there's not any. It's like Breaking Bad. Like, it's great, but it's not. There's not any kind of substance to it that makes you want to be a better person.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's kind of by design. Like, most of the shit now, they just want you,
Yep. Just, I don't know, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
It all sucks because it's what the government has always been pushing towards,
Yeah.
I mean, the CIA has always wanted people to believe things that are false.
Yeah.
That their goal has been to make everything that the American people believe as truth to be a lie. And we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's almost to that point where they've succeeded in making the American people believe a complete lie and believe it like it's the truth 100%. And
yeah,
it's
and like, if they don't, it's the individual. They got to bust themselves out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to, but I just don't know that there's enough people that want to do that anymore.
No.
I think it's just a steady stream of dopamine, cheap dopamine that everybody is addicted to, and I don't know that they're going to get out of it.
No.
And, like, I'm not saying this is like a like a holier thou thing. Like, that's a damn hard thing to do.
It is.
When you've got an endless supply of delicious food, porn, any kind of pleasure you want, just right at your fingertips. Immediate. Like, you don't even have to wait for it anymore.
You don't have to work for it or wait for it.
No. Like, it's such a hard drug to get away from. Because besides chemical dependency, I think that's what drug addiction is.
Yeah.
Really. It's just you're addicted to the dopamine that it releases.
Feeling good. What makes you feel good?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
No, either, man. It sucks. Because it's just not. We have a weak country now.
And it's becoming just a worldwide thing. Well, I mean, I don't know that it's that way in all the places.
I don't know so much about, like Russia.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Russia and some Asian countries, like, they seem like they can fight it off better. It's a Western thing, probably.
Yeah. We're on the downfall of being the ruling nation.
Oh, yeah.
It's over with. I wouldn't put any stock in this place.
No.
None. It's over.
Yeah. I don't think it'll come back. I think best case it splinters. Like, I mean, because that's what I was thinking with that whole Oregon thing. Like, the way that they're talking, like, I think they're going to secede. Because if you're kicking the feds out, you're essentially saying, and that's great.
Listen, I'm for kicking the feds out.
Yeah. But you go over there. I don't want anything to do with you.
No. Mm-mm.
Like, you are so insane.
Yeah.
And honestly, it should just be like, I don't know, cut the coasts off, cut some of the north off.
Yeah.
And, like, I have problems with the Republicans too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll always argue that the lesser of two evils, and they have more of a freedom-loving strand in them.
They do to an extent, but they don't want you to be free. Not 100%. They don't.
No, I don't mean the politicians. I mean the people that vote that way.
Yes, but a lot of them are skewed to believing what the politicians believe, that people shouldn't be able to do drugs, or people shouldn't be able to,
What's weird about that, though, man, is, like, I think they're more willing to change because, like,
I agree. I think they're more willing to have the conversation, right? I think that someone on the right, or someone who's conservative thinking, even if they were like, no, I'm completely anti-drug, completely anti-allowing that to be something that's legal or something that people could obtain, I think you could have the conversation with them, and they would be more willing to listen to the facts, or just willing to listen to what freedom really is.
Yeah.
And freedom is not controlling what adults do in their own spare time.
Yeah.
You know, but see, it still boils down to personal responsibility. If you choose to do drugs, you pay the consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
You own up to what you've done. If you do something stupid and you break a law, a natural law where you've stolen something from someone because you were high, right? You go out and you hurt someone or take something from someone, then you have to own up to that, you know, but damn it.
But do you think
no one should take the right away from you to be able to do those drugs? You know?
No, but do you think like that, I don't know, it seems to me like even like Republican sentiment like of the average person has changed. Like, I don't know anybody that thinks weed should be illegal. Nobody.
Yeah, pretty much nobody.
Do you know anybody that would argue, like, even Christian people that I know won't argue anymore against gay marriage?
Yeah.
Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
it seems like they're more willing to, okay, we'll go more towards a libertarian thing than the other side of it.
I agree. I mean, I would much rather live in a, you know, conservative state than a liberal state, because liberals want to take everything away from you.
Yeah.
Like, and if you don't agree with them, it's over with. You know, you are canceled. You are done. You don't get a second chance. It doesn't matter what you've done before or what you'll do in the future. You are done. You have done this one thing that goes against our fucking viewpoints or what today, because tomorrow will be a fucking different one. You know, you're done. And yeah, I don't want to live there. I don't want to be around that shit. I don't want to. That's real fear. You know, I don't want to live in that type of environment. At least there seems to be some grace in some of the other ones. Even if they don't agree with you, they're not just going to like destroy you over one thing that goes against what they believe, you know?
Yeah. What's weird,
they're even willing to have the conversation on why you did it.
Yeah.
Or why you choose to do things the way you do, you know?
Yeah. It's weird, too, the amount of hate that takes, like, to have towards somebody. Because, like, you know, I could be sitting across from somebody that I completely disagree with. It could be the most progressive, Black Lives Matter, all this stuff. Like, I disagree with him. I don't want that dude to not be able to earn a living.
No, of course not.
Like, and I don't understand the,
because you're an advocate for freedom. You want people to be free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even for the dude's sake, like, you're screwed up wrong, what out of that, but, like, I don't want you to just, you know, you should figure out that's wrong, and maybe you will suffer for some of these opinions or whatever, but in an appropriate way.
Right.
Like, you should be able to hold those opinions and still go do a good job somewhere and get paid for it.
Yep. Well, you're not going to learn anything if you get everything stripped from you. You're going to only double down on what you're like, well, fuck them. They're coming after me. I'm not changing a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just seems like a little bit of understanding and going, all right, man, I don't agree with you. I think you're completely wrong, but you might come back around.
Yeah.
So let's let you at least live.
Yeah.
You know, because if I just go, you can't work anymore, you can't do anything anymore, is that going to ever let that man change his mind? No, he's going to only see the other side as the enemy at that point, right? Like, you're not going to ever think about what the other person was saying because they just canceled you completely. They took every bit of your livelihood away. You're always going to be mad and bitter at them, and you should be.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, and that's the thing with, like, sports or whatever. Like, recently, like, here's the thing. I know that most of those guys that I'm watching don't have the same values I have. But that, you know, I can get past that and just watch them for doing, like, the sport thing or whatever.
Right.
But then when you start you're not going to preach at me.
No.
I'll turn it off.
Yep.
Like, that's a different thing.
Yep.
I came here to watch you play sports. If you want to start a political talk show channel,
then go do that
in your
spare time, but don't do it while you're fucking playing sports and getting paid millions of dollars to do it.
Well, that's the same thing for
Fuck
me.
off.
If somebody wants a home loan and, you know, they come in and sit in my chair, and while I'm doing the paperwork, I'm just lecturing them about what they're doing wrong. That's not what they came there for.
No.
They don't, you know, if they didn't come to me for my political opinion. They came to me, and if somebody can do a good job with the service or product they're providing, even if they have different, you know, viewpoints, values, whatever,
It doesn't matter.
no,
that's not why we came together. You know, we
Yeah.
it's just everything's backwards, man. Yeah, I don't know. Is. But anyways,
well, you'll wrap this thing up.
Let's wrap it up, man. We'll see you next week.
And talk more about COVID.
Fuck. All right.